Jeffco Schools is hearing from thousands of people in the 24 hours since the district first proposed tearing down Columbine High School and rebuilding it nearby. The district asked for that feedback in the form of an online survey. Our Marshall Zellinger has been following up with them. And Marshall, I just cannot imagine Jeffco Schools putting such a sensitive and expensive request on the ballot unless they're certain that the public's in favor.
Yeah, a spokeswoman for the district told me that the school board and the district leadership are sincerely asking for input in order to determine whether or not to move forward. One of the questions from the survey asks, if a proposal for additional funding to build a new high school to replace the current Columbine is placed on a future ballot, based only on what you know right now, how likely would you be to vote for or against the ballot question? If the district wants to tear down and rebuild Columbine, it will need more money from Jefferson County residents. The district believes it needs to ask for $60 to $70 million, which would need to be voted on. Part of the district's plan for a new Columbine includes keeping the name, mascot, and school colors, keeping the library as a cornerstone of a new building, and enhanced security features. The district tells me 4,300 of you have responded to the survey so far, and most are from the Jefferson County Schools community, assuming the people taking the survey are being honest. The final questions of the survey ask, what is your relationship with Jeffco Schools, and what area in the county do you live? If residents are not in favor of approving more money at the ballot, this may be a non-issue. Kyle, it really sounds like the public, specifically the Jefferson County public, will be the ones deciding the future of Columbine. Yeah, you have to imagine it would kind of create more hurt if this goes out to the public for a vote, then gets rejected. You know, you ask people to invest themselves in it. It's almost like you brought it up for no reason at that point.
All right. Thank you, Marshall. So Marshall's truth test lets you know when a political ad is misleading or false. But what happens when an actual formal complaint gets filed about an ad during an election? Well, it all tends to happen privately. It doesn't really make news. So we brought it out into the open when we introduced you to Florence Seaburn back in April. She filed a few complaints about these jankety-looking mailers with the cartoon fat cat. The mailer was put out by supporters of Jamie Gillis for mayor. What was not put out was their required financial report showing what they paid for during the election. They also listed their own name incorrectly on the mailers. After Florence complained, the group paid a $1,500 fine. But Florence thinks political groups just consider the price of getting caught is one more expense.
I think that's part of the formula, yes. I think that's part of any kind of analysis that an organization does when they're looking at it from a political strategy standpoint, yes. I think that when you drop over $100,000 into the municipal race, that $1,500 is nothing.
The people behind that cartoon mailer never did get back to us. Even when a complaint is found to be justified, there's no requirement for the group to publicly apologize or send out a correction or anything like that. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock's going to take some time off. A vacation after a campaign sounds like a good call. And don't tell me that elected officials should not be allowed to take time off. He announced his break in a video message today, where he also said this.
Whether you voted for me or not, I want to say thank you and know that we're all Denver and we're going to do everything we can to represent every single soul that calls this city home.
When the mayor thanks the people who voted for him, that is 91,000 thank yous. When he thanks the people who didn't vote for him, that's the 70,000 who voted for Jamie Gillis. And he is also thanking the whopping majority, the 245,000 Denverites who decided not to vote at all. To believe United Airlines bragged today about operating more than 500 daily flights out of DIA, all you have to do is pretend like the word daily does not mean daily, because Denver's largest airline doesn't actually run that many flights here each day, you know, daily. The first line of the press release from United calls the carrier's more than 500 daily departures from its hub at DIA a record. But the word departures has an asterisk after it. So, of course, we're skeptical. We go down, we read at the bottom where it says 3 times a week. So daily to United Airlines means 3 times a week. Got it. Your teenager showers daily. I exercise daily. Next is a good TV show daily. We're getting some feedback tonight about Denver's new LED streetlights. The city announced in March it would convert 44,000 existing streetlights to LED, and more than 7,500 have been installed so far. They're more energy efficient, they're durable, and they put off a lot more light. Too much light for some people. Next viewer named Sherry Morris lived just down the street from us on Logan for about 35 years. She says the new LED light outside her house is so bright, it's intrusive.
It's causing a negative impact on the neighborhood, I feel, because it is shining in our houses very brightly, and it just is lighting way too much. I just don't feel that it's the appropriate light for this neighborhood.
We contacted Denver Public Works, and they have received other complaints about these new lights. They tell us the new lights are more directional. It means that a slight tilt can cast the light a long way. We're told that in some problem cases, the issue can be resolved by re-leveling the light. He started out in DPS cleaning bathrooms and cafeterias. Now, Michael Atkins starts his new job as principal of Stedman Elementary. Park Hill native grew up playing basketball with his friends at Stedman. After he graduated, he got his first full-time job with DPS at Rachel B. Noel Middle School as a custodian. Then he made his way into the classroom as a teacher before becoming an assistant principal, and now the man in charge.
So what I want for my brown students, for my black students, for my white students, is to experience diversity at a high level.
Atkins tells us he wants to eliminate racial disparities in school while connecting people through culturally thorough language. He says that being a custodian has helped him understand all the little things it takes to make a school a success.
Denver's sound is reaching more people.
Well, we feel like Denver's local music scene deserves its own radio station.
Dinger hits a dinger right at a small child. And your good news.
George, my new puppy.
Next.
A musical tapestry. Bold. Spellbinding. The artist, Marshall. Embraced by dozens as one of the most innovative political reporters of his generation. Marshall returns with over a minute and 20 seconds of new material. Next.
This is not an actual product. If you'd like to hear Marshall play the recorder, you can rewatch this video on the next social media accounts.
The most Colorado thing we saw today is the Rockies mascot Dinger doing some damage at a youth baseball game. Now, dinosaurs like Dinger are about 100 million years old. You would think that would be an unfair age advantage over the T-ballers in Westminster. Dinger whistled one right back at the pitcher at that game in North Metro's league game between the Wildcats and the Dragons. Adam Leslie sent us the video. I mean, just cranked it right back into the adult who was pitching. Easy, stud. Send us the most Colorado things you see. Email next@9news.com or get our attention with the hashtag HeyNext.
If your kids have outdoor sports tomorrow late in the day, be mindful of the potential for thunder showers, much like what we saw this afternoon. The rain is moving out of the metro area after a day with a high of 86. We'll be warm again tomorrow, but not quite this warm. Storms are tracking northeast, and as they do move north, we're seeing signs of hail out around Weldona and Fort Morgan. Severe storms will push into Nebraska and Kansas in the next 2 hours, and then we have clear skies. High pressure will bring us a warm start to the weekend, but that front to the north means cool, rainy weather for the second half of your weekend. And for those of you going to Garth Brooks, take a poncho, be prepared for showers at some point during that concert. We're going to see a thunder shower and a little bit of light rain. Tonight, the rain is moving out. A mostly sunny day tomorrow, but it's late in the day into the evening that we've got the chance for a few sprinkles and maybe a little thunder. Partly cloudy, 57 in the city this evening. Tomorrow, warm with a late day storm, high 81. A cool, cloudy start to Sunday with a good chance for rain early on. Highs in the 60s. You'll notice that. Low 70s Monday, and then sunshine and 70s for Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, closer look at your weekend in detail. Saturday looks to be the warmer of the 2 weekend days, and Sunday, that's a big drop in temperature, Kyle, 62.
Nice. Thank you, Kathy. So our Marshall Zellinger, he's done some interesting stuff on TV. But when he played his third grade recorder, in order to talk about people not knowing what Denver's clerk and recorder does, I mean, I had to hand it to him. But one of you didn't. You noticed that he had the wrong hand on top on the recorder. We are committed to accuracy here at Next, so Marshall went back for another lesson from his music teacher at Tollgate Elementary in Aurora.
Sounded better on TV.
It did. Well, I had a few takes at it that people didn't have to see. Mrs. Roberts, my music teacher from Tollgate, she's allowed to tell me like it is, especially when she's got blackmail. Yearbook photos of me in first and second grade. Dashing young
you're
fellow.
Smiling really good, too.
On Wednesday, some of you noticed I apparently don't know how to play, or at least hold, a recorder. I was called out for doing the recorder this way. Am I doing the recorder wrong when I hold it like I am? So you taught me the right way, I'm just not doing it right. Yeah, left hand goes on top. I'm just curious, what's the purpose of learning how to play the recorder that everybody has to do this?
You learn how to play the recorder first to read music. Once you can read music, then you can play any instrument you want. Just the three and the thumb and back.
Are you an expert recorder-er?
No. No. I can play about 3rd or 4th grade level.
I know how painful it is for me to listen to myself play the recorder. What's it like year after year to teach?
I like it. My husband's teaching himself the ukulele now. We went to Hawaii and he bought one and brought it back. I love listening to it. I love listening to it. I don't care how old you are or how bad you think it squeaks. You know, you're making music.
For next, I'm Marshall Zellinger.
Did you get that?
Denver's local-only radio station plays what's popular.
If listeners like it, it plays more and more.
And the signal is getting stronger. Your good news is fairly big news.
I'm having a healthy baby.
And so is ours. Several big announcements next.
Makes you want to get out and explore this weekend. Denver Open Media first reached its listeners using an old taxi dispatch antenna. With a new antenna, starting tonight, the all-local artist radio station is going to reach from Fort Collins to the Springs.
In the darkest night lives a brighter day. Oh, it'll be all right.
It's hard for Denver and it's hard for our society to properly value music.
Though the path unclear.
I'm Laura Goldhammer, and I'm a musician and an animator and a movie director from Denver, Colorado.
My name's Tim Johnson. I'm a musician and artist. This radio station is dedicated to my music because my music is on the radio station.
We shall see it through.
Denver's local music scene deserves its own radio station. Anyone who wants to put something on the radio can come here and get it on the radio station.
There's a very strong community here that you can't find anywhere else.
This whole organization is about putting the power of media in the hands of the community, letting the community make their own media, contribute to the awareness and the values of our society. We've got people here that you just wouldn't really hear anywhere else, so it is a real opportunity for people to break through and get heard.
Find yourself a place to sit.
Do you want to make music? This is the place to do it. Get it out on the air and learn how to create and distribute your content no matter how much money or resources you have.
I would love to put my music, my new tunes, my old tunes, out there on the radio station, which is launching tonight.
We shall see it through.
If you happen to be headed down to the Santa Fe Art District for First Friday Art Walk tonight, might as well check them out. Launch party starts in about 30 minutes. So every Friday here, we share your good news. But we're carving out a minute for our own good news tonight because the good news on the next team lately has a theme: engagements. And guess who's the latest?
Hi, I'm in London. I am drinking craft beer right now, an awesome peach sour. And I just got engaged to the woman that I met on Next at a story. Cheers. Cheers. See you next week.
Our Steve Stager beaming with his good news after proposing to his girlfriend of nearly 3 years, Katie. Katie is a teacher. Steve mentioned that they met while Steve was on assignment for Next at Katie's school. It's one of my all-time favorite stories, too, about a school where the kids speak a bunch of different first languages. As Steve said in his engagement announcement to friends, when he walked into the school to do that story, he had no idea he was walking into the rest of his life. Congratulations, Steve and Katie. Our Marshall Zellinger is also planning a wedding, recently engaged. Points for Marshall's use of Jana's dream car and the backdrop of the city from Mile High. Mazel tov, Marshall and Jana. And our Kevin Larson, producer here, also used a Denver landmark for his proposal last December to Erin Powell, who runs our social media accounts. You talked to her on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else. Kevin popped the question at the Brown Palace as the band was playing their song. 3 next weddings on the way. That is our good news. Your good news, collected at a place where news is whispered and shouted too. That's next. Barbershops and hair salons have mountains of dirt being dished daily, but when we went to one, Sparrow Hair in Edgewater, all we wanted to know was, what's your good news?
My good news is my salon got to relocate into the heart of Edgewater, and it couldn't be better.
My good news right now is having a successful job as a director of an early childhood educator, and I am most thankful for my beautiful curly hair.
And my other good news is George, my new puppy.
It's my birthday. Yeah, that too. I'm alive.
My good news is I'm having a healthy baby. I have this cute puppy that came today to visit, and he is so sweet.
I am just generally always happy. I think it's always important to see the bright side. Always good things going on, whether you recognize it or not. This salon is awesome. These girls are great. And George the dog.
My good news is on Monday, my family and I are leaving for a 2-month trip to Europe. We're traveling all over Europe for 2 months. And I can't wait to have an adventure with my kiddos. And I'm really thankful that we have the time and the opportunity to do that.
George! That's my good news.
Puppy's always good news. Finish with your feedback. Janet and Jill Marie both wanted to know where to find Denver Open Media and its new strong signal on the radio dial. They are at 92.9 FM. I guess they'll play anybody in town who plays music. Barbara says, wonderful news for everybody. We feel like the next family is our family, but no, we won't pitch in for the weddings. Naomi Bloom says, so missed next. We moved to Arizona in April, but she chimed in tonight just to say congratulations to Steve and his fiance. I wonder if they thought about music for their wedding. I'm not sure that I really know anybody. And finally, Izzy says, I like Next because with all of the darkness in the world today, it is nice to see a student go back to 3rd grade to learn the recorder. I leave you with the signature stylings of the one and only Marshall Zellinger.